Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Report. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Ray Man Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your soul story together. And we have a shout out this week to our new friends at ohmtimes.com. If you go to ohmtimes.com, you'll see one of the greatest lightworker magazines on the planet, and you will see our horoscopes there as well. Well, the sun is now in chapter 3 of Libra. This is the master shui, the passionate, intense part of the transit. We'll be working on our long-term partnerships, our romantic marriages, and strategic business alliances as well. The classic kind of cliche of sun in Libra. The moon will be a bit intense this week. It will actually go full by the end of the week. It begins in cutoff Aquarius, then we're juicy in Pisces for 3 days, then a full moon in Aries on Friday night, and then of course we have a chill weekend in Taurus where we'll be manifesting. The moon signs most affected are Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, and the moons falling into the shadow or the dark side of the moon will be the Leo moon, Virgo moons, Libra, and Scorpio moons. Now, looking at orbits, man, this week it's kind of interesting. The moon, of course, starts in the crown, but then by the end of the week will shift all the way down to the root chakra for the full moon, which creates this opposition between the throat chakra and the root chakra. And because this is the full moon in Aries, this is the most intense full moon around survival, root chakra issues. So in each of your 12 horoscopes upstairs, I'll be talking about how this opposition might affect your health and how it affects your chakras in your system. Now, taking a look at the planets, let's start first with the constellations, a new little feature I put in this week, which I had pointed out. And we, of course, overlay the planets on top of this. There's a lot going on with the planets, and some of it has been going on for a long time, and I'm happy to announce some of it is finally ending. For one, we do have this trine between Black Lilith and Saturn. The good news is both Black Lilith and Saturn show that now they're unified at growing, moving forward, healing. And Black Lilith is at step 14 this week, which means that we're going to respond differently based on the fact that we are hopefully feeling karma free. This grand cross or grand square has finally broken apart. You can see that the sun has progressed. Thank goddess for that. Now there's still a T square going on between the three planets, Uranus, Pluto, and Black Lilith is a trigger there. However, with the sun out of this week you're going to find your life going faster and faster and faster because we're starting to feel our life let up. Remember, the sun is what we love. It is basically our life. And then this grand trine, this Black Lilith grand trine is still in effect, but because of Black Lilith being at step 14 and Saturn moving to step 12 at the end of the week, this is going to be a freeing, much more freeing grand trine, and this is going to be us rushing past like water rapids our old issues and probably finding ourselves emotionally in new issues. Well, let's dive in deep to your particular soul, but to do that we've got to take the ascension elevator up, so I'll see you upstairs at 33,000 feet.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Namaste, heroes and Aries risings, and welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you. And it certainly has been a tough autumn, hasn't it, so far? Or at least it's the autumn in the northern hemisphere. For those in Australia, it's been a tough spring. And it has, because you are changing radically if you haven't paid attention. I think you're probably very annoyed at things that aren't going your way and probably upset with the ways things have unfolded. But that really is, in a nutshell, a powerful thing that's happening. That Aries and Aries risings are launching a new ego, and really, while the sun is in Libra, which is the anti-birthday for Arieses, and the long-term relationship transit for Arieses and Aries risings, it's through the way you relate that you are actually saying yes or saying no to the new ego. And ego, of course, is what you do best. Putting it out there, taking action, making things happen. I call you an action engineer on Lightcast report cards because that's what you are. You engineer action to happen. And what's essentially changing, therefore, is what actions you engineer to happen. A lot of Arieses get caught in ruts, so do Aries risings, where they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's because you never ascend to the next floor, to the next level, to the next quantum being, right? And part of that's because you love so much to take action, and some of that's because you are attached to the actions. And because you are attached to the actions and because your ego is attached to that level of taking action, you in fact are perhaps creating a glass ceiling from taking on the real actions your heart wants to take. Now this month it's all about relations. And so far you've been working on your mirage to yourself and how you relate to others. And we have a serious joy toy for you at the end of this that's going to help you with all of this. But this week we're getting into the passionate part of the lesson where your passion is ruling it. We're in Master Shui. And since your passion is ruling it, and things tend to get really quick and move quickly with passion, especially when you're in Aries, or in Aries rising, I want to just say right off the bat, you want to take deep breaths and you want to ground yourself all week long. All right, that's a little first step tip. So as we start off this week, we are going to move in from the judgment to the harmony part of all of this. And I know judgment and self-judgment was a lot of last week's conditioning. I should have brought that up in the scopes. I realized watching later I should have brought up judgment a little bit more, talked about it. Shoulda, shoulda, shoulda. Don't shit all over yourself, Chris. But now we're moving into harmony. How do we make peace with ourselves and our mirage? How do we make peace with the world? How do we strategize? How do we align our relationships so they all serve us and not take away from our life? And that's the most powerful part of where we're going and growing right now. So the sun this week is going to move from step 20 on Sunday to step 26 at the end of the week. This is the Master Shui, where you must trust your feelings, and it's through the trust of your feelings that you make the commitment to others. Now, Saturn in Scorpio, which is a big part of this story, and this is why we've been so self-critical. Mercury crossed Saturn last week, making us all very critical of our lives and ourselves. This week, Saturn is basically healing and repairing boundaries and trust in yourself. And then by the end of the week, you're going to probably, I wouldn't want to say the word gamble, but you're going to go ahead and try to play on that trust by the end of the week. You're going to just start to make a play on that trust. And then in the state of Cancer, which for you is the state of your emotional being, Jupiter is at step 19 all week, which means to love and trust your feelings and invest in that trust. So Jupiter is saying the same thing as Saturn and Mercury. And Black Lilith at step 14 says, you must love and trust that the emotional turmoil of the past is over. And you must respond now to situations from the perspective of it being over, not from the perspective of being beaten down or having a hard life. You must emotionally respond to that it's over now. Okay? All right, whoops, state of Cancer again. So let's whip out the week. As we step into this week on Sunday, we step into Master Shui. We got a little graphic upgrade here too. You have all the long-running planets. Along the bottom you can see that Jupiter is at loving and trusting your emotions all week. Saturn is holding integrity all week with trust and intimacy. Uranus, which is helping upgrade your personal ego, that's going to do a lot of work this week. You're going to, I think, launch, or at least try to launch, the new Aries ego you've been working on for a long time. This is probably tied to career changes. This is tied to personal dreams. This is tied to trust. This is tied to so many different aspects of your life that you want to put into motion. And because you are the king or queen of action, your ego has to change when you want your life to change. So although the rest of the world probably won't change your ego so much this week, the Aries and Aries risings will. And if your sun sign is different and you're watching this for your rising, your ego will probably change this week. Now, notice the moon crosses Uranus on Thursday, and that's just before the full moon, so you can see the universe is really working on the ego. We'll talk about that. Neptune, which also the moon crosses this week on Monday, is focusing on, again, self-compassion, being compassionate to yourself. And now Pluto, which is direct, is saying it's time to take action with your career moving forward. So on Sunday, the moon is in Aquarius. You are social, you are passionate, maybe a little irritable on Sunday. And what you are doing is just loving and trusting that your feelings, that your feelings about relationships, that your feelings about strategic alliances can be trusted. Not the people can be trusted, your feelings. Very different, okay? Until you trust your own feelings and your own mirage, you will not be able to get an accurate read on others. That's how it works. So on Monday, you're through the trust, and now we're actually playing the trust. You might have to play the card. You might have to use this new trust in a relationship. You might be proposing to someone, all right? Or you might be opening up to different alliances. But what's important is that the moon moves into Pisces on Monday. So as you're going out in the world to go test out your trust, you are emotionally feeling private, spiritual, and perhaps having to implement that self-nurturing. The moon crosses Neptune on that day, so you really have to on Monday be self-compassionate. On Tuesday, it's Uranus ruled day. There's going to be a quantum breakthrough. I say a triple threat. There's 3 different things there. Each lightning bolt number means how many different areas of the life is going to break down and break through. So it's a triple lightning bolt day. And the moon's in Pisces, so it's most likely going to come across as a spiritual revolution for yourself, including Aries risings. And on Wednesday, the light bulb goes off. There's a breakthrough. So the breakthrough comes from, really it comes down to you're having to trust yourself, trust your emotions, and you're having to trust your spirit, you're having to find your inner faith. And it's through trusting and finding your inner faith that I think you have a breakthrough on Wednesday, an understanding and a clarity. And this is most likely an understanding or clarity in regard to relationships and strategic alliances with others, FYI. So that's a good day on Wednesday. On Thursday, Venus rules the day, and it's a day of the moon moves into Aries, and so you're going to feel strong again. It's like the sun has come out. It's time to play. It's going to be a breakthrough day, a healing day. That's the yin-yang day. You're going to return to your inner synergy and feel great, I do believe. Now, at the same time on this day, the moon crosses over Uranus, and so you will probably put on a different suit coat. You'll probably put on a different jacket. You'll probably be feeling the new ego, which may come from having inner faith. And if that's the case, ask yourself, really, having inner faith makes this much of a difference in your day? That would be the question on Thursday. Oh, by the way, this is the whole week of the Guardian Agency free trial. And so I'm going to be, you'll see in the agency that all through these days, I remind you of what I said in the scopes, and I reinforce all of this because I know it's a lot to digest when you watch it in the beginning of the week, and if you watch it again or not. So in the Guardiancy, if you're watched over, I always reinforce my scopes. So I'll be reminding you on Thursday to respond differently. For those who sign up for our free trial, to respond differently to your emotions on Thursday. On Friday, it's a Neptune ruled day and the moon goes full. So this is a real leaping forward day on Friday. This is a day where you're going to want to leap forward, where you want to jump forward. Neptune rules the day, so it's a very spiritual day. The moon is in Aries, so this is probably the day where you do something. Now, technically, it is an opposition, this full moon, between your emotions about your strength and who you want to be, and your positioning of yourself in long-term relationships. And so you are spiritually committing to a long-term relationship policy between Friday and Saturday. The full moon is the last moment of you allowing yourself to step away from the relationships that don't serve you. And this late in the transit, I would say it's the relationships that don't serve you. All as a condition of marriage, all as a repercussion of the way you treat yourself. But still, this late in the transit, you're really asking yourself, can I be with someone or not? And the full moon is going to make you full of yourself and strong. So this is the time, Aries, to decide that you're going to leave or commit or whatever to a person. And if anything, your commitment is only for a year. I so believe in pagan marriages, a year and a day only. I can only promise a year and a day. The pagans were smart. The reason why is we'll see next year's astrology when the sun's in Libra how you feel. A year and a day. So you are making that commitment really to others on Saturn Day when Saturn rules the day. The full moon allows you to break away, have the strength or whatever, and the moon moves into Taurus there shortly after. And so as a result, your emotions on Saturday and Sunday will be about productivity, getting things done, and manifesting, probably based on what you've observed. Taking a sneak peek at next week, Mercury goes retrograde on Monday the 21st, oh goddess, and then we're 0 degrees in the sun in Scorpio on Wednesday. So the universe puts us in the dark already. Of course, showers on Friday. Look forward to all that. So now, as you probably know, we have this cool new trick where we parachute down, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to release you now and parachute down to Earth, and then we'll be coming back for your Serious Joy Toy here in Witecki Theater after this. At Solmar.me, we have prices and specials worth jumping for. Like the Guardian Agency, our digital network that'll watch over you through email 7 days a week, 7 times a day. Come join our free open house next week. Just navigate to Solmar.me. While you're there, fill out your date of birth and email address in our custom form, and you'll get 7 days free. No credit card required to sign up. Come on down. And while you're there, you might want to also check out the Orbits Report and Jupiter Gets Emotional. Now just $11.11 for a limited time and for immediate download. At soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement. Parachute not included. Hello, my heroes and Aries risings, and thank you so much for sticking through to your Serious Joy toy. And if you remember, we have been playing along with our Serious Joy toy, which is an imaginary toy you play with in your mind, a concept or toy you chew on, a toy you chew on. Isn't that cute? And this toy you chew on will ultimately help you step into the roles I'm trying to help you guide you into. And if you're watching, if you have subscribed to the Guardian 2 this week in our free trial, the Serious Joy toy you have seen is implemented into it. So last week we talked about deciding and choosing and selecting the royal court. You're royalty. You should treat yourself like royalty. You should select the royal court. So all the people that you selected in your life, which should be from your life, you're going around going, I would keep this person, I would keep that person. These people now, this week, your assignment is to play, is to delegate everything in your life you can to the people you trust. Delegate. And you're saying to yourself, well, Christopher, what will I have left to do? You'll have left to do what you're meant to do, my friends. So delegate. That's your Serious Joy toy. And if you really can delegate, don't make this just a game. Delegate. Ask people. Teach them. Show them. Give them power. Allow them to be in your life. Allow them to strategically align. Build the royal court and the royal team. And step up into the royal role you were meant to lead in. But you can only do that, Aries and Aries risings, if you delegate. All right, that's all I have for this week. I love you, as you well know. Until next week, namaste and live, love, be.
Hello, my brothers and sisters, and welcome back to the most loving space on the internet. And you know what? It's Friday. It's finally Friday, and we got a whole bunch of content. That's right. No, we don't. What am I talking about?